Good day, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. Nigeria President Muhammadu Buhari Tuesday presented the 2016 national budget before a joint session of the National Assembly. The 6.07 trillion naira budget proposal for 2016 was predicated on $38 per barrel oil benchmark and 197 naira exchange rate. It is an increase of about 40% from the previous budget of 4.357 trillion naira, which was presented to the National Assembly in 2014 by ex-President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. Buhari becomes the first Nigerian president to personally carry out this year's task. It also marks the first time the president would address a joint session of the National Assembly since coming to power in May this year. The National Assembly says it is ready to swiftly pass the 2016 budget to quickly reflate the Nigerian economy. The United Nations on Tuesday said violence in northeast Nigeria and neighboring countries targeted by Boko Haram has forced more than 1 million children out of school. According to the UN, this has also left them prey to abuse, abduction and recruitment by armed groups. More than 2,000 schools in Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad and Niger remain closed due to the conflict, and hundreds have been looted, damaged or destroyed, said the UN's children's agency UNICEF. While hundreds of schools in northeast Nigeria have reopened in recent months, insecurity and fear of violence are preventing many teachers from resuming classes and discouraging parents from sending their children back to school. This is according to the UNICEF. Even before the conflict, Nigeria had the highest number of out-of-school children globally, more than 10 million, said the UNICEF in a statement. The military in Nigeria has confirmed the death of 9 persons in a suicide bombing in Beni Sheikh, Borno State, northeast Nigeria, carried out by 3 minors between the ages of 10 and 15. In a statement, a military spokesman, Colonel Sani Usman, said that the 3 suspected suicide bombers went into Beni Sheikh, Borno State at about 8:30 p.m. Colonel Usman said that one of the suicide bombers was laden with improvised explosive device. While the civilian JTF was in the process of screening the suspect, following the necessary drills and precautions, the carrier detonated the IED that led to the death of 9 people, while 24 others sustained various degrees of injuries. Meanwhile, no group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but the deadly Boko Haram sect is largely suspected. The Islamic sect has carried out similar attacks in the past. The Defense Headquarters has revealed a new strategy adopted by the deadly Islamic sect Boko Haram in carrying out suicide blasts across the country. A statement by Brigadier General Rabi Abubakar, Acting Director of Defense Information, said the sect tries to attract a large number of people together by creating scenes with the intent of inflicting more harm on unsuspecting individuals. He added that similarly, suicide bombers used monetary incentives and other inducements, especially in crowded places, to lure innocent citizens in order to cause colossal damage to both life and properties. The Defense Headquarters urged citizens to be wary of such antics of the terrorists. Nigeria's federal government has described as a hoax the figures being mentioned by ISIS concerning the number of attacks carried out by Boko Haram and the number of people killed by the terrorists in Nigeria in the last 2 months. In a statement issued in Abuja, Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said the imaginary figures were part of the ISIS strategy to show up the morale of its dispersed and defeated fellow terrorists in Nigeria. The minister said some of the videos released by the group were neither recent nor genuine. He added that the ISIS Boko Haram propaganda is being deliberately timed to coincide with the December 31st deadline issued to the military by the Nigerian president to destroy the terrorists in a bid to distract the army. The minister urged Nigerians to ignore the propaganda. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has assured Nigerians of the availability of petroleum products during the festive season. Minister of State for Petroleum Ibe Kachuku said the NNPC resorted to renewed special supply intervention measures to ensure a countrywide availability of a petroleum product ahead of the forthcoming Yuletide and beyond. A statement released by the NNPC said the special supply intervention kicked off over the weekend. The corporation says that daily fuel trucks, which leaves depots to Abuja, Kaduna, Enugu, Kano, Ibadan and Jos, has increased significantly. Now, still on Nigeria's fuel scarcity, Nigeria's Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, has blamed the lingering fuel crisis on what he called the sins of the past administration. The minister, who was answering questions from State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting on Monday, said that the Muhammadu Buhari administration inherited 522 billion naira subsidy arrears, which has incurred as far back as August 2014. According to him, the last administration failed to make adequate provision for fuel subsidy. Lai Mohammed, however, said that the NNPC is gradually importing fuel that will help cushion the effect of fuel shortage. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has reserved judgment on an appeal challenging the decision of the Taraba State Election Petition Tribunal on the April 11 gubernatorial election in that state. Justice Abdul Aboki said the court would later announce the date for the judgment in the appeal. Last month, the tribunal nullified the election of Darius Ishaku as governor of Taraba State on the premise of breach in his nomination as candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the April polls. The tribunal chairman Musa Abubakar had ruled that there was overwhelming evidence that the PDP never conducted a primary election to field Ishaku as the party's flag bearer in the election. The Transition Monitoring Group TMG has assured and urged the Buhari administration to wield its big stick once again on Sambo Dasuki during his tenure as the managing director of the Nigeria Security Printing and Minting Company, according to a statement issued by Comrade Ibrahim Zikirulahi, chairman of the group. This recommendation comes on the heels of the 22-count criminal charge brought against the former National Security Advisor. TMG also called for the probe of the Nigeria Elections Debate Group, which, according to TMG, is a shadowy group driven solely by the quest for primitive accumulation. Dasuki is accused of misspending about $2.1 billion meant for the purchase of weapons for the fight against extremist group Boko Haram. Well, we'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll look at business and international stories. Stay tuned.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching the Funny White Man Show, which is the biggest, the brightest, and the most entertaining show in Africa.
Funny white man, funny white man, funny white man, but this way you talk, it's too much. Give me 5,000 man, that's you. It's too much. So you get it like, when she move along the street, yeah, me should like that, I'm going girl, you know, my own people, actually. Yeah, fine, it's fun, I enjoy it, and I'm one of those very few.
I'm forever taking it personal. I will say 160 million Nigerians are corrupt. How? My brother, I'm looking for you.
Yeah, but it's a growth, and this is the time to build business and know the pitfalls and know what to do and what not to do. But there are months where you get business and months.
You know how we do, how we train them. We do the way you do.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching Trending Matters on the Funny White Man Show. Of course, we will bring you trending issues just to entertain and tickle your fancy.
Welcome back. You're watching TV360 News now. To business stories. The Kaduna refinery has resumed production of petrol 4 months after it was closed for repairs. This comes after a pipeline pumping crude to the plant resumed operations and ahead of the December deadline for Nigeria's 4 refineries to return to full production. The refinery, which has a capacity of about 110,000 barrels a day, resumed on Saturday. This is according to Ohi Alegbe, a spokesperson for the NNPC. He, however, gave no production data. Nigeria's 4 oil refineries produced nothing in October despite a goal from the state company to produce 30% of its own gasoline in 2016. Despite exporting 2 million barrels per day of crude oil, Nigeria is almost solely reliant on imported petroleum products. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has confirmed that the new electricity tariff regime has been adjusted to fixed charges for all classes of electricity consumers. The Commission said henceforth from the next billing period, distribution companies will no longer charge their customers monthly fixed charges. Fixed charge is that component of the tariff that commits electricity consumers to paying an approved amount of money irrespective of whether or not electricity was consumed during the billing period. The Commission's chairman, Sam Almadi, said under the new tariff regime, electricity consumers will now only pay for what they consume from month to month. Now, oil prices rose around 1% on Tuesday, bouncing up 11-year lows as investors closed bearish positions ahead of the year-end holiday. This comes as a global oversupply picture capped gains. Brent crude traded up 29 cents at $36.64 a barrel, while U.S. crude futures were 34 cents higher at $36.15 a barrel. The price of oil has halved over the past year, dealing a blow to economies of oil producers such as Nigeria, which faces its worst crisis in years, of Venezuela, which has been plunged into a deep recession. Burundi's parliament has criticized a proposed plan by the African Union peacekeeping mission, already dismissed by the government as an invasion force. Lawmakers rejected the planned force, which was proposed by the African Union last week, amid growing international alarm over spiraling violence in a tiny Central African nation. In a final declaration, the parliament urged the government not to mortgage the sovereignty of Burundi to the AU. Lawmakers complained of Western interference and biased media coverage of Burundi's crisis and rejected talks of a looming genocide as rumors with no basis. The 54-member AU said Friday it would send a total of 5,000-strong force to hold violence that has sparked fierce Burundi sliding back towards a civil war. It gave the government a 4-day deadline to agree to that offer. Moving on to sports now, Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger says the team's victory over Manchester City on Monday has given them the belief that they need to be in the Premier League title race. The Gunners have not won the title since 2004, but goals from Theo Walcott and Olivier Giroud were enough against City despite Yaya Touré's last strike. Arsenal are now 4 points clear of third-place Manchester City, but remain 2 points adrift of leaders Leicester City. With defending champions Chelsea 15th and similarly out of the contention, the North London side are now the favourites to win the league. FIFA President Sepp Blatter and UEFA boss Michel Platini have vowed to appeal their 8-year ban from all football-related activities following an ethics investigation by FIFA. They are both found guilty of breaches surrounding a £1.3 million disloyal payment made to Platini in 2011 by Blatter. The FIFA Ethics Committee found Blatter and Platini had demonstrated an abusive execution of their positions. Platini said the decision was a masquerade intended to dirty his name, while 79-year-old Blatter has vowed to fight the ruling and redeem his image. Both men continue to deny any wrongdoing and intend to appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sports. Well, we've come to the end of news now. Thank you very much for joining us. I am Thelma Okoro.